genocide definitely destroyed our way of life. Thanks a lot.
Hey everyone, welcome to Navajo Tea Time. So some new things. We have a new logo by...
Crystal and Dugi.
And hopefully we'll be having some merch coming out soon, so keep an eye out for that. Also, I'll be setting up a Patreon with my happy accidents. That will be linked to Navajo Tea Time, so if you want to support us that way so we can come out more regularly and, driving a while.
We've been getting a lot of great feedback too from our viewers. So for those viewers, that's why we wanted to reach out and partner with a Navajo artist, a Diné artist. Her name is Crystal. I actually went to UA with her, back in the day in the early 2000s, and at the University of Arizona, we were friends, we were study mates, and she's gone on to study fashion and art, and she's really coming up right now. And so I reached out to her and asked her if she'd be willing to do a logo. So she created this really funny logo. It's got like an Alice in Wonderland theme, and I really like it.
That's cool. I love Alice in Wonderland. That's why I have tea time, and I love tea so much.
Yeah.
And tea parties.
I know. I really want to do a photo shoot with that setting. I think that would be so funny. But for now, we have this logo, and we're thinking of developing mugs with the logo on it, and maybe some stickers, maybe some shirts. My husband really wants a shirt, so he was like, "I'll rock it." I'm like, "Cool." So yeah, so I'm gonna be working on that, and so if you're interested, we'll post everything up on our Facebook, and you guys can make purchases online or in person. We'll let you know.
And does Crystal have any Instagram links?
Oh yeah, and so Crystal, she's on Instagram, she's on Facebook.
We'll have the links below, and then it's right here on the screen.
Yeah, so check it out, support her. And one thing I wanted to state too is that like every year after this, I want to reach out to a new artist, a new Native artist who can create a logo for us or some sort of imagery that we can add to our merch. And so it'll just be like this fun thing. And the reason why is because I'm a big supporter of Native artists and entrepreneurs, and I want to be able to, integrate that element into our work here at Navajo Tea Time, because I really think that showing support for one another is key to the growth and success of what we're all trying to do. So yeah.
Also, if you have any topics you would like us to discuss on the show, also leave that down in the comments below or on our Instagram or on our Facebook. We check them regularly.
There are two people who have who made suggestions in person, so shout out to Tia. She suggested the topic of bullying, and I think that's something that a lot of people can identify with, like that experience. And then another topic of discussion that was proposed by Christine was the topic of life off the reservation, for those who might have gone to school off the reservation, and how that connection to, to home is so much different. And then also the treatment that they receive from people who grew up on the reservation, and, like sometimes those experiences don't line up, and sometimes the interactions get, I don't know, how would you say? They're kind of like not positive all the time.
It's kind of like, urban natives versus res natives.
Yeah.
People bickering about little things and little details about that on both ends.
Yeah, and I think that's something I'd be down to talk about, because I've had that experience myself as well, and so...
So, if you want to leave your experiences or stories you want to share on our Instagram or Facebook or in this video below, do that. This month, we're talking about internet and cell service, trying to stay relevant to current events and talking about more things other than home site lease. That always seems to come up. So there was a survey going around at the beginning of this month, the Navajo Nation put on, asking people about their cell service or their broadband internet service, and just their opinions and experiences with that. So I know I have spotty connection on a good day with my cell service. Like I'll be in my house and then my phone will move an inch either way and I get a dropped call or there's no service at all when I first had full bars. And then with internet, you know, if it's a cloudy, windy day or you don't have a clear view of the southern sky, I don't know if you remember those commercials, then I have no internet either. And so it's kind of hard doing this work. And even last month, it took me about 16 hours to upload last month's video to YouTube because of the slow internet.
And that's different from region to region, you know? So like where I'm at on the res, I have great cell service. And I know. And so, but Kelsey wants to hoard the data. Just kidding. Just kidding. No, but I have a pretty good internet connection where I'm at. But
you're also on a university or college.
Yeah, I live on a college campus, so we kind of got the hookup here. So thank goodness for that. But yeah, when we're living elsewhere, like in the same region Kelsey
Western Navajo
is living, yeah, it wasn't as great. I started a company with my husband, and we would work out of Hogan Espresso in Tuba City. That was really like where our company was born in many ways. We managed our first contracts there. So
the children are trying to escape.
The children have escaped. Just kidding.
So here are some quick things and issues that I thought would come up then that I saw in some of the comments. Is that like you know, internet being too modern or too contemporary for Native people?
That's whatever. Yeah, right.
And then, you know, like it's a very first world utility, but then also you kind of need it to function on the United States.
Kind of need it. We absolutely need it. If we want to stay abreast, you know, to our moving economy, our moving our government systems, our businesses, like we need this. Like we can't compete globally or even regionally without good internet service. It's mandatory and necessary, especially for a lot of our college students that are taking classes online, because online courses are efficient, they're less expensive, and it gives students a lot of autonomy. You know, they have the freedom to choose their schedule. So I don't think it's just like a first world problem or like, oh, we might not need it as much. Like, no, we absolutely need it, and I think we deserve it.
Yeah, and then there's like also things that are moving strictly to online, like a lot of job applications and even government assistant applications. I know my younger sibling's dad used to come over to our house all the time to use the internet to file for unemployment because he works construction, and there's nothing to build sometimes. So he needs to file the unemployment so he can make his rent and all that stuff. And like all those applications are moving online. So it's really hard to even function on a welfare state.
Yeah, and like thank goodness a lot of our utility companies here, they're making it available to pay your bills online rather than having to go to an actual site. And so for convenience sake and to save gas and time and energy to travel, I think it's, you know, it's great. And I would love to see our systems improved. Did you pull a story about that, right? About a internet access story or information, right?
There was looking up information on this. There's actually a news article in the Navajo Nation Times. It's dated 2/19/2020, so very recent from the time we're filming. And it basically talks about this project the Navajo Nation has been working on with various corporations and companies. And it seems like at the beginning and start of the project, it was almost like a free-for-all of like just taking whatever pitch or whatever idea was thrown at them. And then now they're starting to figure out that they need a more structured way of how to apply internet access to various chapters and regions. I believe it said that there was already 20 chapters on the Navajo Nation that are hooked up with fiber optics internet, which is really awesome. It's just not my chapter.
Yeah, and yeah, there's some gymnasts surrounding that too for the Tuba City area. But what I do know is that we do have a council delegate that I'm very aware of that's really pushing this initiative. His name is Elmer Begay, and he's a really big supporter of providing more internet access for the Navajo Nation. And so that's been like a big platform and something he's really pushed in council. And so I think for those that really care about this issue, that's somebody that you might want to show support for, just because like finding out the people within, who have the power to really make big change, be supportive, listen to those conversations, find out the details of what they're doing, and then, I don't know, pray for them, Just kidding. No, but I mean, there's things we can do. We can petition, we can organize, we can show our support in various ways. We can help pass resolutions, we can show up and vote. So those are just some ways I think we can.
Yeah, and then I'm looking at the survey posts on Facebook. I saw some comments, and one that really stuck out to me was that someone commented, I'll have a screenshot of the comments. Someone commented that why is the Navajo Nation focusing on internet when there's still houses and people who don't have running water or electricity? And that's a valid argument, but I feel like if people really wanted water and electricity, there's ways for them to get it. Right now, there's almost no options for getting good quality internet. And so there's different processes you can to get water and to get electricity. It might be really hard, it might be really expensive, but you can get to it. You can get it. There's multiple programs for energy saving or alternative energies to get to houses. It's just people need to put in the work to get those programs and get the funding for that. So internet, there's nothing to do.
Yeah, and even beyond that, we can invest in things that are going to help, our quality of, raise our quality of life. And I think some people don't do that. They're not. I would really like to see how many people are actually sitting down and looking at their income, their finances, who are actually creating budgets and planning for their family long term, putting money aside to invest in alternative energy, putting things aside to save for a home, to buy materials. How many people are really not just on the internet commenting, but actually showing up to chapter meetings to support things that are really supporting their own best interests. Not the government entity itself, but the individual, wouldn't you go show up to support something that's going to be in your best interest?
If I knew about it, it's so hard to find when their meetings are
Well, that's why we have cell phones.
Even
so you can call.
Phones,
yeah.
The one lady who runs the Facebook for the Cameron chapters, I think she posts it once, and then the way posts go, they get lost in the feeds, and so it's hard to see a post if you're not online at the moment it's posted. So I try to look for them, and I try to repost them when I find them, but it's really hard. And then sometimes I just get really busy and can't go to the meeting when they happen, and it's hard that way. But
I just hear excuses. Just kidding.
I have to make a living too.
I'm just kidding. No, I think a lot of people feel that stress, and I'm just picking on you. You know what I mean? I know what the challenges are. I do.
There's been comments on the actual chapter page about why don't you broadcast the meeting online, again connecting to the internet,
because we don't have good internet service. That's why.
Have people phone in their votes, and I thought that was a really neat idea because
Oh
people are traveling and away from home, so being able to do that would be great.
Yeah, I was recently introduced to this program that we utilize for our meetings. It's called On Board. It's awesome. You can run meetings, attend meetings, and submit your votes online. There's also this other there's apps that can be created for this purpose specifically. And my husband and I were listening to this podcast. It's called Open Source Governments or something like that. But the idea was that a lot of people so this was in South America. And what was happening was there were these large like disparities of representation for indigenous people, or the specific party that they were not being represented, and a lot of the issues that were affecting them directly in their communities, they were not being addressed. And so what they decided to do was create this app that would allow them to do that, to broadcast, to submit votes, to share platforms, to engage in community, I guess, development, to create in government decision making from their phones. And that's something we could do.
Yeah,
it's
already
could
been
do
created.
that.
You could just tweak it to the reservation.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people do have mobile devices, and we know this because we see everyone who is posting on Facebook, and we see, the people that are watching our videos, they're not. I don't know. I mean, okay, so I don't know this for sure, but how many people are going to the chapter house to watch Navajo Tea Time? Raise your hand. Just kidding. You know what I mean? No, really, I'm pretty sure a large majority of people are watching from a tablet, from a phone, or from a laptop.
Yeah.
So.
And just the ease of just logging on and not having to travel how many miles you have to travel to get to the chapter house.
Yeah.
And then have to travel those back.
Or to a library, or to Hogan Espresso. You know what I mean? There are places that do offer, like McDonald's that offer Wi-Fi, but
you don't want to always log on to that. It's kind of sketchy if people get your info.
Yeah, they have security guards too on the res.
It's 30 minutes only, and then they kick you out.
It's crazy. They walk around the parking lot, and if they see you on your laptop, they'll chase you off. I've never seen that anywhere else.
Really?
Except on the res. Yeah, I've never seen security guards at McDonald's chasing people off their phones and their laptops. But
well, they probably have internet and they don't have to stay at McDonald's.
I just think it's crazy.
They don't have to resort to me.
Things are so different here. But
so when I was reading the article, I came upon this one quote, and it says, these are people who don't understand.
These people. Jeez.
These are people who don't understand what Facebook is, who don't have Netflix, said Violet, and now they can have a two-way conversation with their doctor, take online classes at Harvard. If they want to get a job in a remote call center and work from home, they can. And this quote kind of took me aback, and I was like, I don't know how old this quote is, or who this person's directing the comment at, but I have I don't know how old she is. My grandma's almost 80. She's it's a 70, 60-year-old grandma who's on Facebook and commenting on almost all my posts.
Yeah.
And even back in middle school, I had friends who were on MySpace creating their own little MySpace pages. If you guys remember MySpace.
That's how I learned HTML.
And then Yahoo chats. Me and my friends were on that all the time. So we know what the internet is. We watched Netflix develop from the little mail-in DVDs to the actual online streaming, and it kind of...
Wait, where did you find this quote?
It was in the news article.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh.
So that's why I'm this one seems a little odd. My grandma knows what Facebook is. She just doesn't want to learn how to use it. But she has a cell phone, she talks to people on her phone and everything, and I don't know. That quote just I don't know, it's a little outdated, a little off, because that's where we get all our news. If you want something relevant and recent, for me, if something's going on in Cameron, I just put on my Cameron page, hey, do you guys know what was going on? I saw smoke in this area, or I saw these sirens going this way. And then other people, oh yeah, this is what happened. We're I don't know, I saw it, but I don't know what happened either. And that's how we get our information, trying to figure out on Facebook what's going on. And because there's no news crew, I'm not going to see the news at 6 o'clock what happened in Cameron.
Dang, that'd be cool, huh? If there was a res news crew that did stories.
It'd be nice, Navajo Nation Film Office. But anyways,
We want that.
Even if it's online, I'd log on or whatever, sign up.
That would be awesome. I would subscribe to that. Yeah.
If I could get relevant weather information and traffic in my area.
I know, y'all. Okay, we're switching it up. We're going to be the news crew. Just kidding.
I don't know. I'm too sarcastic for news.
I know. Well, today, another tourist jumped the turtle in Cameron-EZ.
It's not the tourists.
So-and-so jumped the turtle.
Calling people out.
That's what this guy from the chapter house called that.
The turtle?
Yeah, the roundabout. Yeah, that hump in the middle. He calls it the turtle. He's all, 8 people jumped the turtle already in the first few months after we installed it.
It is a turtle, though.
I was like, 8? Holy cow.
He's like, grandma was one of them.
Are you serious?
Yeah. A little old lady with a big old truck, you know? We stopped letting her drive after her.
Grandma! Oh my goodness, poor thing.
Anyway.
Anyways. Okay, let's go back to the story.
But yeah, so like that comment of like, you know, how we don't know what the internet is, we don't know what Facebook is. I think a majority of the Native people spend almost all of their time on Facebook. People are selling their hot plates, their cookies, their jewelry on Facebook. And even roadside people, they need better internet and access to Wi-Fi because they're running credit cards and they need the purchase to go through to make a living. You know, there's various upsides to having good internet access.
Yeah, like I've noticed that I'm able to process bigger purchases if that option is available for people. Because it's like, you know, people only want to carry so much cash. But if you're like, oh yeah, you can pay with a card through Square, and they're like, oh okay, and they'll throw down, you know,
couple $100s.
They will, yeah. Like they're quicker to purchase if you allow them to use their card. So. So yeah. Is that everything?
That's about everything. There's just my little tea spill. I don't know. Did you read it?
No, I didn't do my homework. I feel like, ew, it just reads it.
You're hella loud.
Should I read it?
I don't know.
I feel like the Navajo Nation is in a really interesting place where we as a place... Wait, I feel like the Navajo Nation is a...
Yeah, as a place or a region.
I feel like the Navajo Nation is in a really interesting place where we as a place can skip over some of the outdated infrastructure and go right to the latest ones like fiber optics and solar energy. We are not reliant on the current out-of-date products in most of the reservation, but as always, there will be naysayers who don't want change or feel that modern technology will ruin our way of life. And my tea for that is our way of life was ruined the day we were walked to Huelde. Dang. She's right about that. I agree. Every day after that, there has been changes to our way of life that we can't get back. But right now, we can have control in how we implement these changes to better our lives. Maybe improve our way of life and try to preserve what we can. Yeah. I agree with that. I think that genocide definitely destroyed our way of life. Thanks a lot. Jeez. Don't get mad at us because we don't have internet or that we don't have houses and water and electricity. It's not our fault.
You're fine. Yeah, so, you know, if you want to be a guest and you have a topic you really want to talk about and discuss with us, let us know and let us know your schedule and where you're at. We'll try to travel to you.
Yeah, that'd be cool. And we love road trips. So that'd be fun. Also, you know, I really want to talk about the bullying issue, and I really want to talk about the like urban Indian versus res Indian, urban native versus res native. I don't know. So I think that'd be a cool topic to jump into. But
yeah, well, maybe we'll have them 2 different episodes. Don't need these to go on any longer. After that 16-hour fiasco, I'm cutting down this video.
Okay. All right. So I think that's it then for this episode, right?
Yeah. You know.
Okay.
like, share, subscribe. Leave your comments below about the internet, about any topics you want us to talk about.
Mm-hmm.